Okay guys, so this video is actually going to help you walk through the installation process of Windows 7 onto a VMware machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to install Windows 7, and then that will lead us into our next videos where we're going to start capturing images using ImageX, and then also booting into the pre-installation environment with Windows PE. So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and click on Start, go to All Programs, and then go ahead and go to VMware and then the VMware Workstation. Now, once our VMware Workstation actually opens up, we're going to click on where it says New Virtual Machine. We're going to click Typical, and we are going to install the operating systems later because we're going to use an ISO. I know it says we can use an ISO file here, but we're going to go ahead and do the entire process so you can see how we need to go ahead and take care of everything. So install the operating systems later. Now, down here where it says version, it may default to one of the other versions, so we need to make sure that our version says Windows 7, and we need to make sure the guest operating system is Microsoft Windows. Now, here where it says virtual machine name, what I want to show you guys is we need to use a naming convention. And the reason we need to use a naming convention is because once we start moving hard drives between the virtual machines, we need to make sure we're moving the correct hard drives. So with this one, we're going to name this guy Fresh Install Windows 7. We're going to change this 40 into a 30 gig drive. And then here we can verify what we just did. Name is Fresh Install Windows 7. Hard disk is 30 gigabytes. And then the memory is 1024 megabytes. Now we have not yet completed everything. I know we added a hard drive, but we need to actually get a CD for the ISO so that we can boot to the actual image itself. So we're going to edit our virtual machine. We're going to select our CD DVD IDE. We're going to use an ISO image file. Click Browse. Now on your machines, your actual image should be located within the C drive in a folder called ISOs. So you're going to grab your Windows 7 installation ISO and click OK, and then we are going to power on the machine. Now, when you power on the machine, you may be in a situation where your machine itself is not set to boot from the ISO itself first. So what we have to do is we actually have to go into the CMOS settings and change it to where you actually boot from the CD-ROM first. So when we actually start the machine, you're going to click in the area in which you can control the virtual machine with, and then hit F2. This will make sure that we can get into the CMOS settings. Okay, now that I'm in the CMOS settings, again, we can go over to boot, go down to CD-ROM, and then we're going to hit our plus sign twice. This will bring the CD-ROM up to the very first boot device. Then we're going to hit F10. Once we hit F10, it's going to ask us if we want to save. Yes, we want to save. This way we can verify that we are going to boot from the Windows ISO, and we can start our installation. Okay, now as our Windows 7 installation actually starts up, we want to make sure, again, we pick the correct language. We're going to go ahead and click Install Now. And it will ask us about either a custom or an upgrade. We want to make sure we actually click on custom because we are not upgrading. We're actually installing a fresh copy of Windows 7. So we're going to accept the license terms. We're going to click custom because, again, it is a new installation. We only have one drive. We're not going to partition it or anything like that. So we're going to just simply click Next. And then it's going to go through the installation process. As it goes through the installation process, guys, I don't want to bore you or waste your time. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the video, and then once we get to the final settings of the installation, then we'll go over those. Okay, so it looks like we're about to be finished with our installation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just use my last name as far as where it talks about a username. You guys can use actually the username that you use to log onto your PCs in the classroom. So I'm going to type in Reddit, and then I'm going to click Next. The password, you can go ahead and just leave that blank for now. In the real world experience, we would not want to leave this blank, but being that we're just doing things for testing purposes, we want to go ahead and just leave this blank. Product key, we can leave this one blank as well, because being that this video is actually being published on YouTube, I do not want to put a product key into the product key field. You can do that inside of the classroom. Where it talks about updating Windows automatically, let's just go ahead and use recommended settings. We're going to go ahead and pick our time zone. And then if you get a network option, go ahead and pick work network. Okay, so it looks like our installation has completed. Again, if you're comfortable with this video, we can then move on to some of our other videos that you're going to see later on as far as capturing images with ImageX, booting into the pre-installation environment with Windows PE, and things of that nature. If you have any questions, again, feel free to ask me in the classroom. Unfortunately, I do have comments disabled on the videos themselves. But again, if you are in the classroom, feel free to ask me questions, and I'll go ahead and take care of you there. Again, thanks for watching. Have a good day.